When we, as individuals, interact with other human beings, we interact exclusively with their bodies, not their minds. We may see the reflection of their thoughts and feelings in what they are saying and expressing, namely we see the reflection of their minds in their bodies. However, when one thinks of oneself, they don't only experience a body, but also experience a mind, feelings, and thoughts which differ based on each one's personal subjective experience. The idea that we as human beings consist of two separate parts, the body and the mind, is the idea of a philosophical school called substance dualism. The other school is reductive physicalism, a school that believes that the mind can be reduced to simpler physical process, and that everything about us is just purely physical. Substance dualism. Dualists believe that human beings are a kind of a middle ground between inanimate objects like rocks, which is purely physical, and higher forms of beings like gods, which are purely mental. Both aspects, physical and mental, are combined within us as human beings, and the interaction of the physical substance of the body with the mental substance of the mind is, in the view of the dualists, what dictates our existence and make us different from other objects or beings. This interaction happens both ways, which means that body affects the mind and vice versa. If you feel hungry, for example, which is a feeling meaning it is not physical, your body would respond to that feeling and start seeking something to eat. If you ate something sweet, the mind would respond to this physical action and would feel joy and pleasure, showing how the interaction goes both ways. The real problem of mind-body can be traced to René Descartes, which proposed the questions: where would such an interaction happen? And how would a merely physical entity affect a merely mental entity and vice versa? Descartes identified the place of this interaction to be the pineal gland as the point that allows this interaction. Descartes also said that the mind is the location of freedom. While the physical body obeys the laws of physical causation, the non-physical mind is exempt from those laws. That gave a rise to another problem, known as the problem of mental causation. Mental causation. The problem of mental causation is simply, how can a non-physical mind affect and get affected by a physical body, and in the same time be exempt from physical laws? Reductionists believe that the laws of nature are deterministic, and that the world is causally closed. In this view, the immaterial mind, as dualists say, simply doesn't have any place, and is irrelevant to the world and to our existence. What we call the mind is just matter as physical as the body, and can be characterized as the human brain. The dualist view is what gave rise to the mind-body problem, and they failed to solve it. On the other hand, the reductionist views avoided the problem in first place by denying the immaterial mind. That didn't just give a more logical view of ourselves, but only a view that is compatible with modern science and supported by it. Neurologist point of view. The neuronal doctrine, which appears at beginning of 20th century by Santiago Ramón y Cajal, proves that the brain was made up of discrete units rather than a continuous net. Each nerve cell was consisting of a nucleus and branching tendrils, and they connect with each other through electrical impulses and chemical neurotransmitters. The basic biological building of brain is nucleated and mitochondria-filled cells, the same as the rest of our body organs. The basic unit of nervous system is the neuron. It consists of body, soma, dendritic tendrils, and a single axon. The dendritic tendrils receive the input signal and single axon translate it to other neurons. Each neuron may have 25,000 or more synapses, junctional units at which messages generated by neurons are transported to other neurons. Impulses generated at the synapses determines the neuronal response. The algebraic sum of the impulses generated at the synapses determines the neuronal response. The relationship between mind and body is so old, started from Descartes. With our knowledge in the field of neuroanatomy, we could reach a solution to this problem. Descartes did not know that the brain is constructed and maintained by genes, and those genes developed through evolution. Generally, when part of brain damage as cells, the mind also damage, as thoughts and senses. So, we can say that mind is the output for very complicated functions. Those functions are produced and manipulated by brain, and the quality of our thoughts, mind, depend mainly on brain. Consciousness and cognition are the essential elements without which the other qualities of mind do not seem to register.